Dear listeners, I welcome you to my channel. Leave your comments and impressions, I value your opinion. My jaw drops when my cheating wife bursts in my office, her face twisted with fury. I know you hired a detective for me, she screams, her voice echoing off the walls. But even without him, I can tell you that you are a nobody. And yes, I have a lover, and not just one. I stand up, pushing my chair back with deliberate calmness. Well then, I say, my voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions inside me. You'll have to fully pay for your betrayal. And here's what I did. Rewind a few weeks. It all begins with a knowing suspicion. We have the perfect couple on the outside. Successful careers, a beautiful house, and the envy of our friends. Yet, beneath the surface, something is amiss. Emily, my wife, has been distant, more engaged with her phone than with our conversations, and her excuses for late nights at work sound increasingly hollow. It is a Thursday evening when I finally decide to take action. I hire a private detective, Mike, an old friend from college who owes me a favor. He is thorough, discreet, and has a knack for uncovering the truth. I need you to follow her, I say, handing him a recent photo of Emily. Find out what's going on. Mike nods, his face a mask of professionalism. I'll get to the bottom of this, Jason. The next few days are torture. I go through the motions at work, but my mind is elsewhere, replaying every interaction with Emily, searching for clues I might have missed. When Mike finally calls, his voice is grave. We need to meet, he says, and my heart sinks. We meet at a quiet bar on the outskirts of town. Mike slides a thick envelope across the table. You're going to want to see this, he says, avoiding my eyes. I open the envelope with trembling hands. Photos spill out, each one a dagger to my heart. Emily in the arms of another man, and another and another. Different locations, different men, the same look of passion on her face. It's undeniable. My wife is cheating on me with multiple partners. I feel the world collapsing around me. Mike's voice breaks through the fog of my despair. I'm sorry, Jason. I wish I had better news. I nod, unable to speak. My mind races, thoughts colliding in a chaotic storm. Betrayal, anger, hurt. It's all there, but beneath it all, a cold resolve begins to form. Emily thinks she can walk all over me, but she's wrong. She will pay for this. I spend the next few days meticulously planning my response. I gather all the evidence, documenting every affair, every betrayal. I consult with a lawyer, ensuring that I have all the legal ammunition I need. It isn't just about revenge. It's about reclaiming my dignity, my life. Finally, the day arrives. I summon Emily to my office under the pretense of discussing an urgent matter. When she arrives, her expression is a mix of curiosity and annoyance. What's this about, Jason? She asks, tapping her foot impatiently. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. Emily, I know about the affairs, I say, my voice calm but firm. I hired a detective. Her face goes pale, then flushes with anger. How dare you, she spits, stepping closer, her fists clenched. You had no right. I had every right, I reply, meeting her gaze steadily. You betrayed our marriage, our vows. And now, you will face the consequences. She laughs, a bitter, mocking sound. Consequences? What are you going to do, Jason? You're a nobody. You can't touch me. I let her words hang in the air for a moment, then smile. We'll see about that. The following weeks are a blur of legal battles and strategic moves. I file for divorce, presenting the evidence of her infidelity. The court is on my side, and the settlement is heavily in my favor. Emily's lovers, exposed and humiliated, fade into the background as she struggles to maintain her facade. Through it all, I remain composed, focused on rebuilding my life. Friends rally around me, offering support and encouragement. I pour my energy into my work, channeling my pain into productivity. Slowly, the wounds begin to heal. As for Emily, she learns the hard way that actions have consequences. Her reputation, once sterling, is tarnished beyond repair. She loses her job, her social standing, and the respect of those around her. It's a steep price to pay, but it's one she brought upon herself. And so, as I sit in my office, watching the pieces of my life fall back into place, I feel a sense of closure. The past is behind me, and the future is full of possibilities. I am stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever comes next. Emily's betrayal could have broken me, but instead, it has forged me into something new, something resilient. And as I move forward, I carry with me the lessons learned from this painful chapter, determined never to let anyone take advantage of me again. As I navigate through the aftermath of my divorce, life takes on a new rhythm. My office has become a sanctuary, a place where I can lose myself in work and forget about the chaos that Emily left behind. It's a Wednesday morning when the next twist in this saga begins. I arrive at the office early, my mind already buzzing with the day's tasks. My assistant Janet is waiting with a fresh cup of coffee and a concerned look. "Morning, Jason," she says, her voice hesitant. "There's someone here to see you." "Who is it?" I ask, taking the coffee and savoring the first sip. "A woman. She says it's urgent. She wouldn't give her name, but she looks distressed." I frown, curiosity piqued. "Send her in." A moment later, a tall, striking woman enters my office. Her auburn hair is pulled back into a neat ponytail, and her green eyes are filled with a mix of fear and determination. She closes the door behind her and stands there for a moment, as if gathering her thoughts. "Can I help you?" I ask, gesturing for her to sit. She takes a seat, her posture tense. "My name is Rachel," she begins, her voice trembling slightly. "I'm one of the women your wife was involved with." Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. I lean back in my chair, trying to process what she's just said. "Why are you here, Rachel?" "I need your help," she says, leaning forward, her eyes pleading. "Emily, she didn't just have affairs, she manipulated us, used us. And now, she's threatening to ruin my life." I raise an eyebrow, skepticism creeping in. "Why would she do that? What could she possibly gain?" Rachel takes a deep breath, her hands clenching into fists. "Emily isn't who you think she is. She's dangerous. She has something on me, something that could destroy my career, my family. I thought I could handle it on my own, but I can't. I need your help to stop her." The room falls silent as I consider her words. I had thought the worst was over, that Emily's betrayal was a closed chapter. But now, it seems there's more to the story. "What exactly does she have on you?" I ask, my tone cautious. Rachel hesitates, then reaches into her bag and pulls out a folder. She hands it to me, and I open it to find a series of emails and photos. They paint a damning picture, one that could indeed ruin a person's life. "Why would Emily do this?" I ask, looking up at her. "Control," Rachel says simply. "She thrives on it. She has dirt on all her lovers, and she uses it to keep us in line. But I'm done being her puppet. I want to fight back." I nod slowly, the pieces starting to fit together. "All right, Rachel. I'll help you, but we need to be smart about this. Emily is cunning, and we can't afford any mistakes." Over the next few days, Rachel and I form an unlikely alliance. She introduces me to two other women, Sarah and Jessica, who share similar stories of manipulation and control. Together, we start to piece together a plan to expose Emily's true nature. One evening, we gather at my house to discuss our next move. "We need more evidence," Sarah says, her voice steady. "Something that will leave no doubt about what she's been doing." "I agree," Jessica adds. "But how do we get it?" "Emily is careful. She covers her tracks well." Rachel looks at me, her eyes filled with determination. "Jason, you know her better than anyone. Do you have any idea where she might keep this kind of information?" I think back to our years together, the moments when Emily seemed more secretive than usual. "She has a storage unit," I say slowly. "She always insisted on handling it herself. I never thought much of it, but now, it's worth a shot." Rachel says, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. "Do you know where it is?" "I do," I reply. "But we'll need to be careful. If she suspects anything, she'll destroy the evidence." The next day, we put our plan into action. Rachel and I head to the storage facility, armed with the spare key I found in Emily's things. We arrive just before closing time, hoping to avoid any unwanted attention. As we step inside the dimly lit unit, my heart races. The space is cluttered with boxes and old furniture, but Rachel heads straight for a locked cabinet in the corner. "This is it," she says, her voice barely a whisper. I take out the key and unlock the cabinet, revealing a stack of files and a laptop. "This has to be it," I say, feeling a surge of triumph. "Let's get out of here before anyone sees us." Back at my house, we sift through the files and access the laptop. What we find is shocking. Detailed records of Emily's affairs, blackmail material on her lovers, and plans to extort money from various influential people. "We have enough to take her down," Rachel says, her voice shaking with emotion. This is the end of her reign of terror. But as we celebrate our discovery, my phone buzzes with a text message. It's from Emily. I know what you're doing. Stop now, or you'll regret it. A chill runs down my spine as I read the message aloud. She knows, I say, looking at Rachel. We need to move fast. We spend the night preparing our next move, contacting lawyers, and arranging meetings with the other victims. The following day, we present our evidence to the authorities, ensuring that Emily's web of deceit will be exposed. As the legal process unfolds, Emily's world begins to crumble. She is arrested and charged with multiple counts of blackmail, fraud, and extortion. The media catches wind of the scandal, and soon, her name is plastered across headlines, her reputation in tatters. Throughout it all, I remain focused on the future. With Emily out of the picture, I can finally move on with my life. Rachel, Sarah, and Jessica become unexpected allies, their strength and resilience inspiring me to rebuild and look forward. In the end, Emily's betrayal doesn't define me. It's a part of my past, a painful chapter that has made me stronger and more determined than ever. And as I step into the next phase of my life, I do so with a sense of hope and the knowledge that I can overcome anything. The media frenzy around Emily's arrest is overwhelming. Reporters camp outside my house, eager for a glimpse of the man at the center of the scandal. I stay inside, watching the chaos unfold on the news. Rachel, Sarah, and Jessica come over frequently, providing support and helping to navigate the constant barrage of questions and legal proceedings. One evening, as the sun sets and the reporters finally disperse, I hear a knock at my door. I open it to find Detective Mike standing there, a grim expression on his face. "Jason, we need to talk," he says, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. I nod and lead him to the living room. "What's going on, Mike?" He sits down, running a hand through his hair. "I've been going through the evidence we found in Emily's storage unit. There's something you need to see." He hands me a folder, and I open it to find more documents, financial records, emails, and notes in Emily's handwriting. My heart sinks as I realize what I'm looking at. This can't be right," I stammer. "She was planning something even bigger?" Mike nods, his expression grave. "It seems Emily was involved in a much larger scheme. She wasn't just blackmailing her lovers. She was working with a network of people, using them to gain access to sensitive information and money. This goes far beyond what we initially thought." I sit back, trying to process this new revelation. "So what do we do now?" "We need to find out who else is involved and what their plans are," Mike says. "This isn't over yet, Jason. Emily may be behind bars, but her associates are still out there, and they won't take kindly to us exposing their operation." The weight of his words sinks in, and I feel a renewed sense of determination. "All right, let's do this. Where do we start?" Over the next few days, Mike, Rachel, Sarah, Jessica, and I work tirelessly to piece together the puzzle. We dig through the documents, follow up on leads, and conduct discreet surveillance on individuals mentioned in Emily's notes. The more we uncover, the more dangerous the situation becomes. One night, as we're gathered at my house, Rachel suddenly looks up from her laptop, her eyes wide with alarm. "Jason, you need to see this," she says, turning the screen towards me. I read the email she's found, my blood running cold. It's a message from one of Emily's associates, detailing plans to retaliate against those who exposed their operation. "They're coming after us," I say, my voice barely above a whisper. "We need to be careful," Mike warns. "These people are ruthless. We have to stay one step ahead of them." The next few days are a blur of tension and paranoia. We take precautions, changing our routines and staying in constant contact with each other. Despite our efforts, the sense of danger looms over us like a dark cloud. One evening, as I'm driving home from a late meeting, I notice a black SUV following me. My heart races, and I take a few sharp turns, hoping to lose them. The SUV matches my every move, and I realize I'm in serious trouble. I call Mike, keeping my voice steady despite the fear creeping in. "Mike, I'm being followed. Black SUV. What do I do?" "Stay calm," he says. "Head towards the police station. I'll meet you there." I take a deep breath and follow his instructions, weaving through traffic and making my way towards the station. The SUV stays on my tail, but I manage to reach the safety of the well-lit parking lot. As I pull in, the SUV speeds off, disappearing into the night. Mike arrives moments later, his face a mix of relief and concern. Are you okay? Yeah, I say, my hands still shaking. But they were definitely following me. We're in deep, Mike. We need to step up our game, he says, his jaw set. These people mean business, but we're not backing down. The next day we meet with the police, providing them with all the evidence we've gathered. They agree to increase patrols around our homes and keep an eye on known associates of Emily's network. It's a small comfort, but it's something. As the days pass, we continue our investigation, uncovering more about the scope of Emily's operation. We find connections to high-profile individuals, illegal transactions, and even ties to organized crime. The web of deceit and corruption is far-reaching, and the stakes are higher than ever. One afternoon, as we're going over our findings, Sarah's phone rings. She answers, her face paling as she listens to the caller. What is it? I ask, a knot forming in my stomach. It's my husband, she says, her voice shaking. They've taken him. They said if we don't stop digging, they'll kill him. A heavy silence falls over the room. The reality of the danger we're in hits us hard. We can't let them get away with this, Rachel says, her eyes blazing with determination. We have to save him. Mike stands up, his expression resolute. We need to be smart about this. We'll involve the police, but we'll also set a trap. They think they can scare us into submission, but they've underestimated us. We spend the next few hours planning our next move, coordinating with the police and setting up a sting operation. Sarah is a wreck, her worry for her husband evident in every glance and word, but she remains focused, determined to see this through. The night of the operation arrives and tension is high. We gather at a safe house, waiting for the signal from the police. They track the kidnappers to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, and we're ready to move in. Stay close, Mike instructs as we don bulletproof vests and check our equipment. We go in, get Sarah's husband, and get out. No heroics. We nod, steeling ourselves for what's to come. The police give the go-ahead, and we move out, driving in a convoy towards the warehouse. As we approach, we can see the shadows of armed men patrolling the perimeter. Stay sharp, Mike whispers as we exit the vehicles and approach on foot. Remember the plan. We split into two teams, Mike leading one and me leading the other. As we enter the warehouse, the sound of our footsteps echoes through the dark, cavernous space. The air is thick with tension, and every shadow seems to hold a threat. We find Sarah's husband tied to a chair in the center of the room, surrounded by armed men. Drop your weapons, Mike shouts, and chaos erupts. The next few minutes are a blur of gunfire, shouting, and movement. We take down the kidnappers one by one, working in tandem with the police. I untie Sarah's husband, helping him to his feet as he gasps for breath. Thank you, he whispers, his voice hoarse with relief. Thank you. We make our way out of the warehouse, the sound of sirens filling the night as backup arrives. The kidnappers are arrested, and we ensure that Sarah's husband is safe and unharmed. As we regroup outside, the weight of what we've accomplished sinks in. We've taken down a dangerous network, saved lives, and ensured that Emily and her associates will face justice. But as we stand there, catching our breath and processing the events of the night, I can't shake the feeling that this is just the beginning. The web of corruption we've uncovered is vast, and there are still many questions left unanswered. I look at my friends, the people who've stood by me through this ordeal, and feel a surge of gratitude and determination. Together, we faced down danger and emerged victorious. And together, we'll continue to fight for justice, no matter what challenges lie ahead. The days following the rescue of Sarah's husband are a whirlwind of legal proceedings and media coverage. The police cracked down hard on Emily's associates, dismantling the network she had built. With each passing day, it seems that we are finally putting this nightmare behind us, but there's a lingering feeling in my gut that tells me it's not over yet. One evening, as we're gathered at my house to celebrate our victory, Mike pulls me aside. Jason, there's something you need to see, he says, his expression serious. He hands me a flash drive. I found this in Emily's laptop. It's encrypted, but I managed to crack it. We plug the flash drive into my laptop and open the files. What we find is shocking. A list of names, dates, and transactions. It's a ledger detailing bribes and payoffs to various officials and influential people. At the bottom of the list is a name that makes my blood run cold, my own. What the hell is this? I mutter, scrolling through the document. Why is my name on this list? I don't know, Mike says, his voice low. but we need to find out. This could be the key to unraveling the entire operation. As we delve deeper into the files, we uncover a series of emails between Emily and someone named the benefactor. The emails are cryptic, discussing plans and operations in vague terms, but it's clear that the benefactor is the mastermind behind everything. Who is this benefactor? Rachel asks, leaning over my shoulder to read the emails. Do you think he's still out there? I don't know, I reply, feeling a knot of dread forming in my stomach. But we need to find him before he finds us. The next day, we regroup at Mike's office to strategize. We need to flush him out, Mike says, pacing back and forth. If we can find a way to lure him into the open, we can take him down once and for all. Maybe we can use the ledger, Sarah suggests. If we leak it to the right people, the benefactor might try to silence us. It's risky, Jessica says, her brow furrowed. But it might be our best shot. We spend the next few days carefully leaking the ledger to select journalists and officials, ensuring that the information spreads without exposing us directly. The media frenzy reignites, and the public outcry is immediate. Names are named, and people start to distance themselves from the scandal. Then one night, I receive a call from an unknown number. I answer it, my heart pounding. Hello. Jason, a voice says, calm and composed. We need to talk. Meet me at the old factory on the outskirts of town. Come alone. The line goes dead before I can respond. I recognize the voice. It's the benefactor. I immediately call Mike, filling him in on the call. I'm coming with you, he says firmly. We'll set up a perimeter and make sure you're safe. That night, I drive to the old factory, my mind racing with possibilities. The place is abandoned, a relic of the past, and it's eerily quiet as I step out of my car. I walk towards the entrance, my eyes scanning the shadows for any sign of movement. Inside, the factory is a maze of rusted machinery and broken windows. I navigate through the debris, my footsteps echoing in the empty space. Finally, I reach the center of the factory, where a lone figure stands waiting. Jason, the figure says, stepping into the light. It's a man, tall and imposing with a cold, calculating gaze. I've been expecting you. Who are you? I ask, my voice steady despite the fear gnawing at me. You can call me the benefactor, he replies, a faint smile playing on his lips. I must admit, I'm impressed. You've managed to dismantle my operation quite effectively. Why involve me? I demand. Why put my name on that list? The benefactor chuckles softly. You were the perfect patsy, Jason, a respectable businessman with no criminal ties. It made it all the more believable when your name surfaced. But you've proven to be more resourceful than I anticipated. What do you want? I ask, my patience wearing thin. I want to make a deal, he says, his tone turning serious. I have resources, connections. Together, we could rebuild what you've torn down. Imagine the power, the influence. You'd be untouchable. I stare at him, disbelief and anger surging through me. You think I'd join you? After everything you've done? The benefactor's smile fades, replaced by a look of cold determination. I'm offering you a way out, Jason. Refuse, and you'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder. Before I can respond, a shot rings out, echoing through the factory. The benefactor crumples to the ground, clutching his shoulder. I turn to see Mike emerging from the shadows, his gun trained on the benefactor. It's over, Mike says, stepping forward. The police are on their way. The benefactor glares at us, his expression twisted with rage. You fools. This is far from over. You have no idea what you're dealing with. As the police arrive and take the benefactor into custody, I feel a mixture of relief and uncertainty. The mastermind is caught, but his words linger in my mind. What if he's right? What if this is just the beginning? The next few days are a blur of debriefings and media interviews. The benefactor's network is dismantled, and his associates are arrested, but there's a sense of unease that I can't shake. One evening, as I'm sitting in my living room, the doorbell rings. I open the door to find Rachel, Sarah, and Jessica standing there, smiles on their faces. We did it, Jason, Rachel says, hugging me tightly. We brought them down. I nod, feeling a surge of gratitude and pride. We did it together. I couldn't have done this without you. As we sit down to celebrate, I feel a sense of closure. The nightmare is finally over, and we can move on with our lives. But there's one last surprise waiting for us. As we raise our glasses to toast our victory, my phone buzzes with a new message. I glance at the screen, my heart skipping a beat. Congratulations, the message reads. You've won this round. But the game is far from over. The benefactor. I show the message to my friends, a chill running down my spine. The benefactor may be behind bars, but his reach extends far beyond. We've won the battle, but the war is just beginning. As we sit in silence, contemplating the future, I realize that our fight is far from over. With the strength and resilience we've shown, I know we're ready for whatever comes next. Together, we faced down danger and emerged victorious. And together, we'll continue to fight for justice, no matter what challenges lie ahead. The story isn't over, it's just beginning.